In a small district south of Seattle called Georgetown is the Seattle Drum School. Located in an area known for its haunted landmarks, with several buildings nearby participating in the Seattle Haunted Tours. The Seattle Drum School is owned by Steve and Christy Smith, and the building they lease was built in 1905. It was a morgue until the 70s, became a union hall, a pet food store, then finally the drum school in the early 2000s. The building has held hundreds of memorials, in addition to countless concerts, rehearsals, and other performing arts events. And the building itself is located on the old tribal grounds of the Duwamish River, which has since been rerouted, but once flowed right to where the building currently stands. You can even see old silt inside of the basement. To say the least, there is an ethereal stew of contradictory emotions and vibes hosted in every wall, hall, and floorboard. We experienced and were able to capture more poltergeist captivity on video than we have at any other location ever. Stick around, and at the end of the episode, you will hear some incredible interview moments with Steve and Christy Smith, as well as a drummer who works at the building.
Stuff, he said, you know what, we should maybe, this is built on, the Wamish tribal grounds.
Yeah.
Let's have the building blessed.
Yeah.
So we had a friend come in who was all about that and went through the building, smudged like every nook and cranny, and said little blessings.
She had us set an intention for the building.
Yeah, but it took about 2.5 hours, and there's 3 of us, Christy, me, and Chris Littlefield, were the only people here, and Amy. So that was, we just did it on a Sunday. And then right after she drove away, pulled out of the parking lot, I noticed that the light was on. And it's been on ever since.
What was that?
Did you hear that?
I heard a bump.
What was that?
It was a bump, a slide, and a squeak.
It was on. And it's been on ever since.
What was that?
It was on. And it's been on ever since.
What was that?
Talking, and then there was a bump.
Oh, I heard the squeak.
Did you hear the
noise.
squeak of something
Yeah.
like
It was like
going across the floor?
It was like all the way
Up there.
back there.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep hearing something out there.
Oh, that squeak?
No,
Sorry, that might have been
that was a foot bump. That was the
Oh,
sound.
yeah. That was.
But it was back over here because we were hearing it. We were both
It was
looking
right
back
when you guys
there.
both turned around.
Yeah.
Well,
The place bothered me, and if anyone who was laughing.
No one?
Did you hear that?
No.
Did you? That was like loud as you heard that, right? And if anyone who was laughing, and if anyone who was laughing.
No one?
Did you hear that?
Going on. We were freaking out. We were like, oh my God.
But that's not the scary part.
No. Because then we turn off the TV. Because what else are you going to do? You turn off the TV.
Did you hear a giggle?
Yeah.
Did you get a giggle?
I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
That just beat. It just beat. That was fine.
That was, he's checking it. Anyways,
It wasn't people back.
yeah, I heard that.
There was like something loud.
Anyways, I'll finish telling my funny story.
So.
Because, well, because, well, because, well.
Watch this clip. It is the first of several instances in which this camera falls. There are also light anomalies that seem to come towards the camera, and one even spins the same direction the camera flips. The camera seems to aggressively turn the opposite direction it previously fell, and faces light anomalies on the wall.
No way.
I bet you're right. It sounded like it.
I gotta check this. It was. You come over here and touch this device we have sitting on the ground. You sing your favorite song. What? No. No. It's tape.
Now, I cannot tell you enough how careful we are with our cameras as a team. This specific camera was taped flat onto a bookshelf, not only on the base of the camera, but also the cord. That did not stop something from throwing this camera and slamming it down. Watch this.
You sing your favorite song.
The nanny cam fell again.
What?
The nanny cam fell.
Yeah.
I guess.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's taped.
I mean, it fell hard. Like someone tugged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
something just like ran out of a side room
Oh.
at Tally.
Like while I was walking by, it was really weird.
But it was one of the rooms you guys haven't talked to us about. It's like just before the end of the hall on the left.
The room by the kitchen.
That's Davis's room.
That's the little poltergeist room.
Oh.
I had a very unnerving experience about halfway through the investigation. As I was walking out of one of the side rooms, I felt the sensation that something followed after me. I heard the footsteps of something chase me down the hallway. I felt the need to run, almost like a human was chasing me. Another investigator even heard the footsteps in the hallway, but didn't really know what was going on.
I'm sure there were hundreds of funerals in this building, in this very location.
Comfort, that's something that you can have to stage existence.
What was that? I was getting ready to do EVPs with another team member when all of a sudden something appears thrown past the camera that had previously been falling. An object or light appears to lob past the camera from out of nowhere. Simultaneously, a light turned off in a room behind me. Several orbs shot around, and coincidentally, I also dropped my flashlight.
Oh, well, that looks a lot better. Okay.
Okay, listen, you guys down here, we need some action because they're showing us up.
Yeah.
You showed themselves?
Do you guys keep sliding on the carpet over there? Either, I'm looking at you, and I don't see anybody moving, but I keep hearing like this on the left ear.
That's like it's from behind you.
Well, it's weird because it's like it should be over relative to the microphone.
Yeah.
But like right here is sort of the coming to the left.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
No?
I don't hear there. I have to really scratch my to hear it.
Hear it.
But that's centered now because it's a.
We're not interested in part of the trick. You want to come right out and See something dramatic. We're in. That's a window like.
We're not sure what we're seeing here. Some sort of orb, or perhaps an object, flew between Rick and Steve. Let's watch again a little slower.
When he didn't return after about 2 hours, they felt it would have been, You hear something?
You're not hearing them?
Talking. Return after about 2 hours, they felt it would have been, You hear something?
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think I'm a good drummer? You hear me play all the time.
Can you go down and tell Steve yes?
Thanks, man. I'm practicing all the time.
So that was the Seattle Georgetown Drum School. We did not sense anything malevolent throughout the night, just very curious spirits that were willing to interact with us. Stick around and watch some incredible interviews with Steve and Christy Smith, as well as a member of the drum school. Thank you.
I think one of the cool stories about this room is that it was the chapel of the funeral home.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So,
Little tidbit.
yes, and so we had no idea that we had any connection to this building when we rented it, but we bought our house up in Shoreline, and the family was going through boxes of we bought it from an elderly woman, and the family was going through boxes, and they found an envelope addressed from this building, 1010 South Bailey, to our house in Shoreline, and inside it's a prayer card and a receipt for the funeral of the mother of the woman we bought the house from.
Oh,
How
And we're in,
ironic
like,
is that?
North Shoreline, way
yeah.
up by Edmonds, yeah. And
this room has a lot of activity, and people are scared. So I've never been scared in this building, but people in this room have been scared. They've seen things, they've heard things. I mean, I don't know.
Really bad drumming sometimes.
The moment I walked in, I saw about a 6 foot, just a shimmer of light, just for a split second. You know, not long enough for me to even focus on it, but it was obviously something right there. And I had the most intense whole body shivers immediately.
Can you give us some history on the bathrooms? Let's go down towards them.
yeah, so So this is where we have our recitals. We call them student showcases. They're two sets, and they're like a variety show with all the different students. So we had a hugely packed event in here one day. It just happened to be everyone's family was around, so everyone came, and the room was standing room only. So during the intermission, I went in to use the ladies' room. And the toilet at the end, you want to start walking that way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The toilet at the end was continually flushing. It wasn't, it was literally filling and
Flushing.
empty, and filling and emptying. And the bathrooms have the handle, the kind of industrial. This was most recently.
You had a plumber come, right?
Yes. So, but before we had, during this recital, there was a toilet just continually flushing. So then, after the recital,
You couldn't see the thing go up and down.
It wasn't going
It would
up.
flush, and it
Yeah.
would fill all the way back up.
and then it flushed
And it flushed
again.
again. Wouldn't stop.
So after, we just had to abandon. We just had to not do anything about it.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of a show, so we do the rest of the show, and Steve and I are always here, early and late. So we were here at the end cleaning up, and Steve said, "Did you hear about the bathroom?" And I was like, "Yeah, I saw it." He goes, "You saw it in the men's room?" And I was like,
It was in the men's room too.
Oh, wow, that's a great story.
I was,
simultaneously.
yeah, I was trying to get water out of the kitchen faucet during our break, and there was zero water pressure. Absolutely. So I thought somebody was in here, turning on the water full blast and letting it run. And so I went in there, and the toilet in the stall, the same thing. I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
It was doing the same thing. There's some guy, the dad of a student, he's standing up on the toilet, he's kind of like trying to kick this thing to stop flushing, and it just finally just stopped. But it was bizarre, and then no explanation.
So then we're talking after the show, and you tell me it's in the men's room.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was happening.
No, in the women's room. So two completely separate
Bathrooms.
mechanics.
And mechanics.
Yeah,
And
everything's,
lines.
not to mention, the plumber said that they don't do that. If the valve goes out, it just runs
It just runs continuously. Yeah, yeah.
So you shut the water off.
Or the water
and
just
you
keeps
sit,
flowing. Yeah.
They don't do that.
This was about 4 years ago. It's never happened again.
This
You had
is
a
the
poltergeist,
the
yeah.
poltergeist, yeah. And that was it Steve Fournier? Or was it Davis? Davis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to talk about it with a little girl. He has 3 little girls. And it was a little girl, and she would move his keys, move his water, say little whispery things. So I'm really curious if we can get anything in there, because that's one of our more active spaces. Gotcha.
Okay, so upstairs, in the rooms upstairs, I came down here at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So there's the lobby lights were on, and of course my lights were on in the room. And I've got my kit in the corner.
It's upstairs.
Yeah, it's in your room, your room, right? And I'm playing and doing thing, and I'm like kind of in the corner of my eye because my kit was like, if I'm sitting this way, the window's facing out like this, and all of a sudden this big black shadow comes running up on me, and I'm like, what the? Like if somebody just kind of ran up on you. So that freaked me out. But I had no idea this place was haunted when I got here. Nobody told me it was a funeral home and all this other stuff until like the next day. I don't know who told me that. And that was freaked me out. Now, Davis has probably outdid every story on everybody.
Yeah.
Now, did he tell you the story about the hallway in the bathroom?
Maybe tell me.
So that one is he was practicing with, I don't know who he was practicing in the room with, the guy that just used to
Lori Bell.
Yeah, him. And he goes, I gotta use the bathroom, guys. So he goes walking out his door, and he's down right there. He goes in the hallway and turns, and he said there was a ghostly figured old man with a top hat doing this, walking intently toward him, and he just was like, and ran in his room, and it was like, yeah.